Welcome to Not Your Basic Brunettes, where we, Devin and Katie, dive into all things girly and beyond. From sharing TMI moments to navigating life's chaos with humor and vulnerability, we're here to create a safe space for moms, single ladies, entrepreneurs, and corporate girlies alike. Grab a drink, get comfy, and join us as we laugh, cry, and connect through all of life's moments. Now here are your hosts, Devin and Katie.
All right, so we've been having technical difficulties for the past hour and a half, and now we're finally getting into this. It's been great. Just wanted to shout out and say happy Ramadan Kareem for all the Muslims for today. It is the start of Ramadan, and I am very excited for my husband.
Thank goodness that the sun is setting still early.
Yes.
And not like at 9 o'clock.
But the worst,
done it before like
yeah,
that.
The worst part is next week it's daylight savings, so it goes back to a little bit later.
That's a whole month, right?
Yeah, it's a whole month. It's 30 days.
Yeah,
straight.
Not as bad as like midsummer where it's like 5 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah, it's worse. Yeah, when we first met, it was July.
Yeah,
so it was like 8:45, 9 o'clock at night for dinner.
Turn the lights off, close the blinds, sunsets, and
like oops, blackout curtains.
Yeah, so you gotta do it with kids. It's like no, it's nighttime now.
Oh my gosh. Well, welcome back. You are back to Not Your Basic Brunettes, and this episode we are discussing growing up in the 90s and 2000s.
Yeah. So I asked someone the other day, like, what is the cutoff for a millennial? What do you think it is?
I know, but wasn't it like 1996 or something like that?
96.
And then there's like Gen X, Gen Z.
Yeah, Gen X is before us. It's like that small generation between boomers.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Millennials go from 81 to 96.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, what is a technical Gen Z? When does that start?
Right.
And I can't believe it's not even into the 2000s. Because they're like, it's weird to think that we have birthdays in the 1900s.
I know.
I hate when you're like, oh, that's so old.
I hate when they say that and you're like, how rude. How rude.
I remember being at CVS and this old lady's like, what's your, like, in front of the line, is like, what's your birthday? She was like, 1920. I was like, Jesus Christ.
I know.
A couple years ago, I was like, damn.
That's me whenever I used to get a patient and I would look in their chart and I'm like, holy crap. This patient's 98 years old. Why are you making her come to the doctor's office? She probably has a few leaves. Leave her alone.
Yeah.
Leave
She's
her
lived a
alone.
good life.
I know I actually had one patient that Sandra, my favorite doctor of her, used to see, and she was literally like 96.
Yeah.
And she was like, I drink my 1 glass of wine a day.
Mm-hmm.
And she was there being seen for like blood pressure. And she was like, okay, I'm not going to stop you. And her doctor said, she shouldn't be drinking alcohol. She's like, she's 96. I'm not going to tell her to stop drinking her 1 glass of wine a night. Leave her alone.
Well, especially if she's been doing it for so long, because then it's like your body's gonna probably react if you take her off. It's like, is it clearly helping in some sort of case?
Yeah, I don't know. Exactly. Okay, so let's start. What is your favorite memory of the 90s?
I've been thinking about this like all week. I think it was, and I feel like a lot of people will resonate with this, like innocence.
Yeah.
It was like a kid being a kid, like being outside barefoot, stubbing your toes, playing with your neighbors, using your imagination, like that sort of, like the word innocence come to mind. I know like the 90s obviously had a lot of shit going on, but like I was born in 1990 and so the beginning of 90s. So like my more growing up was more in the late 90s, early 2000s, when Disney Channel was not a thing and then came around, that sort of stuff. So it was like a lot of stuff was still new, like groundbreaking, like living through the world ending from 1999.
Yeah.
I remember literally being outside when it turned 12 o'clock and we were like, oh, okay, that's it. It's 2000, it's like, I was in 5th grade?
Yeah.
Or 4th, I think. So yeah, I think the innocence of just like, kind of just being in this bliss of bubble without like this sensory overload of so much information. Like, Katie Couric in the morning.
Yeah.
But like in and whatever at night for the more aggressive news or whatever. But it's like you just weren't inundated. You were just like in your bubble. You knew what was going on with your friends, and it was just
I remember when you used to memorize phone numbers, like for your friends, like their house phone. I think I still remember my childhood best friend's like phone number. It was like 303-771. I don't want to repeat the last four, just in case it's still the same for her family. Just in case.
yeah.
Also remember the Christopher Lowe show.
We're
My
gonna have
mom,
way different memories.
Oh my god. Okay, but see, because my mom loved that show. She was a stay-at-home mom for a very short period of time. And before we went to elementary school, and she was like, "Get out of my car."
Yeah.
But it was like
it was a radio show.
No, it was a TV show.
Oh, okay.
And it was Christopher Lowe, and he was an interior designer, and he would like teach you how to make like all these like home goods and like good stuff and curtains and all. Oh god, he's fat.
Yeah.
Loved him.
No, ours was more like my mom would watch like TV Land. So like I Love Lucy, Matlock, and the Andy Griffith Show or whatever.
Oh.
But like we were around when Full House came out on Saturday mornings.
Yes.
And then they repeated on Friday nights.
Yes.
I remember that. And like having to watch TV as it comes live. I was thinking about that today earlier, like how I used to sit and watch hours of TV because it's like you wouldn't get the episodes unless you sat there and watched them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like you can't just stream anything whenever you want.
Or
so
DVR, all that stuff. We didn't have that then. It was like our cartoons come on at 3 something coming after school.
After school, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I remember, especially like the height of Disney Channel movies, how they would premiere them like so hardcore, and like you would get like the trailers for them all week long, and like you're like, yeah, it's gonna come on at Friday night at 7 p.m. Like, do you want to watch it at my house? You know, I remember like, okay, what was your favorite Disney Channel original? What is it called? Like Disney Channel original movie.
Original movie.
Black 5.
Oh my gosh.
Xenon?
Xenon, I think. I think. Yeah. It was so long. It's been so long.
I wanted to be her so
like Space Girl. Like it was.
I thought she was so cool.
So cool. Yeah. And like glittery in space. Like, because she's so futuristic. Like looking, and I was like,
yeah, because I think Raven Simone was in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was still relatively young. And then the blonde girl, I don't know her real name, Xenon or whatever, also played in Johnny Tsunami.
Yes, yeah.
I just think he was so. I actually watched that not too long ago. I was like, not that.
Yeah, we're like, oh, why do we
like the plot line?
Yeah,
very thin, very thin.
I missed the Olsen twins like movies. Yes. Oh my god, I watched like every single one of those dang movies.
Yeah, the height of the Olsen twins. Yeah. Going to Blockbuster. We had like second rate like Hollywood Video. Did you have that?
No.
Okay. No. It was like essentially Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Like not as well known, but yeah, going and picking out
movies. Yeah.
Be Kind and Rewind.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that saying for sure. My favorite memory is definitely going with my dad to Blockbuster. He would take me, my brother, and my sister. We'd go to Blockbuster. We'd pick one kid movie, and he would pick an adult movie for him and his mom, and my mom to watch. Then we'd get like a candy, like, he was always like Junior Mints, and then we'd like pop popcorn at home and like go off on our separate ways to watch our movies because my dad was like, Or
when like DVDs came around, like when the person before you like fucked it up and you like,
I know, and then you're like trying to like get it wet or like clean it to try and fix it, and it's just not. And the whole thing it's just like,
damn it, you ruined my experience.
Literally,
yeah.
What's the thing that you miss the most about the 90s? Like the most?
That's a good question. I would say like I said, just outside, being outside.
Yeah.
Like no matter how hot, cold, stormy, rainy, or whatever, it's like it was just the culture then too of just like we had recess multiple times. Like my childhood best friend growing up was across the street, so it made it easy that like I didn't have to drive anywhere. It's like you knock on their door, like we're playing bikes. Let's rollerblade. Let's play our bikes. I live next to the woods and the creek, and we built a fort in the creek, or like dumb shit like we got Georgia clay, rolled it up in balls, and threw it at the house. I feel like parents just didn't give a shit back then. It was like, please just be gone and entertain yourselves.
Absolutely. I definitely remember that. I was definitely a latch door kid growing up.
What is that?
So latch door kid is when you do not have a babysitter or a nanny.
Okay.
And your parents are working.
Yeah.
So it's literally like, lock the front door. Do not answer it to anybody.
Yeah.
The phone is for emergencies, the house phone. The landline. The landline. We'll talk about the landline because someone literally posted a video. It was like, I just want a phone for the house, you know, like for the kids. And like, you just leave it there. And they were like, you're talking about the landline? The landline? She like had no idea what we were talking about.
The antenna one? Like the one that connects to the wall?
The wall.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, how old are we? It's a landline. And then, like if you're sick, it was like my mom left the Tylenol on the counter. She was like, take this every 4 or 6 hours.
Dang, you had such freedom.
Well, it wasn't even that. My parents were literally just like working.
Yeah.
And my grandparents were still working at the time too. Like they weren't retired. So it was like, who's going to take care of my kids? And back then there were none of these like laws now we have that protect you from like not losing your job with children. So my mom was like, I gotta work. Dad gotta work. Take care of yourself unless like, and it was like, I think we were like it was like elementary school to middle schoolish, you know, like age group, or like if we were all sick, then there's 3 of us home. So it's like, you know, watch out for each other, blah, blah, blah. If something happens, if emergency happens, call me.
Yeah.
And then favorite is if you called her, there was nothing really wrong. You'd be like, call her. She's like, is someone dying? No? Click.
Yeah. And, state to state phone calls sometimes would cost you extra.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
We only have a certain amount of time to talk to grandma. Like, yeah. And what was, okay, you said you were a latch door kid. Did you say your favorite memory? Or like what you missed the most about being 90s?
Yeah, Blockbuster, definitely. Definitely is the big thing. Oh, and my eyebrows.
Yeah.
I miss my eyebrows. If people who don't know me, half of my eyebrows are like tattooed on because from here out, there are no eyebrows. The 90s and the 2000s were not good to me. Overlooking my eyebrows. Don't do it.
Yeah. I saw somebody with that recently. I was like, oh no. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else I miss in the 90s. I feel like is it like a glorification of things of just being your childhood, or is it actually way better to grow up in the 90s?
I think it's way better to grow up in the 90s because one, you're not monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I feel like there was a lot more freedom than children have now.
So I didn't have to worry like freedom.
Yeah, and I understand that there's like creepers out there now, and
but like there's always been creepers. It's just like shoved down your throat nowadays.
Absolutely. And I feel like growing up that way gives you more independence because like now I have like kids and people related to that their kids were born in the 2000s, raised in, you know, kind of like that. And they're not independent. They don't want to grow up and move on and do something else. You know, they are perfectly content not driving, not working, no drive to do anything. And that's just like, oh my gosh, it kills me. I know. I was like, oh, I gotta know my license.
I wait till I was 17, or my mom made us wait till we were 17, so like I had to wait an extra year compared to everybody else. That was agonizing.
It's agonizing, and I was like lit, man. When I got my license, I was like, see ya, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
like all the time, anytime I could drive, I was out of the house.
Well, I also feel like elementary schools pushed physical activity a lot more. I feel
Absolutely,
because I think when we were in elementary school was when Clinton and Bush were in office.
Oh yeah, I remember when we did like politics, like we did like voting in school, and like did that.
We had a whole mail system. I worked in the mail room. Yeah. Okay. And then my elementary school was everybody's okay. Yeah. We send letters to each other, and we would actually like process them in the mail center. Safety guards or crosswalking guards. Did you have those at school?
Oh yeah,
those the belts. Never got to be one.
I never got to be one either. I don't even remember who like
Safety Patrol. That was the name.
No, I didn't have Safety Patrol.
That's what ours was called. Yeah. But it was like kids in the school. That got to do it. Like they would put the flag up. But it was also just like I feel like PE was really about like physical education and like physical stuff.
Oh
like
yeah.
Jump rope for heart. Did you guys have that?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
I love doing that. And like selling shit door to door.
Oh yeah,
these
that's
magazines.
exactly why my mom would say, "Do not open the door,"
Yeah.
because if we were home alone,
Yeah.
we didn't want somebody obviously in the house or open the door to somebody. And then, too, like our front door had those windows,
Yeah.
so you could see you. So it was funny.
Yeah.
I remember we would literally drop that, like it was like someone did the door, boom, hit the floor, like we are not home. Do not see me.
It was a ghost.
It literally no joke though. It wasn't even just me. Like all of my siblings did it too. We were all just like, no.
Yeah,
Even though the TV was something on, you couldn't see that.
there was no door cameras. It was like you literally had to go to the door and answer whoever was there.
Yeah.
Or not answer.
Yeah.
What was it? Jumper for Heart was where you like raise all this money from like selling shit in this magazine.
Wrapping paper, all that kind of stuff.
And then you participate and you get a t-shirt.
Yes.
And you get those awful plastic ass jump ropes that had the little beads.
Oh my god, but they hurt so bad. They hit you in the leg. Oh.
And they were so long and heavy. It's like, how much is a jump rope?
Yeah. And then they're like, just wrap it around, to like make it shorter. And you're like,
no. And then if it starts breaking off, then you have missing ones. Then it's like a rope sliding stuff.
Well, I remember too, like PE physicals here in Colorado, like you had to pass like a certain, like you had to run a mile. You had to be able to do like 100 crunches. You had to be able to do
like pull-ups.
You had to be able to pull up. Like it was like you failed or something like that. Like if you like
it was like pull-ups or the one where you hang and hold. Or
yeah.
Because then you
got both.
Yeah. Then you got ranked. Yeah. There was like presidential, and then there was like two other ones. I don't know if it was like secretary or whatever, but I remember presidential was blue badge. The ones that you got iron on. Yeah. Like the sit and reach test, the shuttle run stuff where you like move the eraser from place to place. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I don't know what they do in PE nowadays.
I honestly don't even know.
Do you have PE?
I don't even know. I know like Cairo, like he does yoga.
Oh.
And it's so cute because he'll be like, I'll stretch with you. Like he's like, oh, like doing this stuff. So, but it's kind of funny. Downward dog, but like it's like hilarious because they're not really doing the downward dog. Yeah. And then I know that they do red light, green light. Yeah. Because he knows that game. Yeah. But like I'm
red rover.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a thing anymore.
I loved red rover.
Oh my god. Terrified. I was so little when I was little. Like, I was a little nugget. So, like, when a big-ass kid was running, I know.
My favorite? Dodgeball. Oh, my God. Dodgeball.
Foam balls with the plastic on the outside.
Oh, so good. I'm still so good. Like, honestly, like, I feel like more workplaces should have, like, a dodgeball league, like, or, like, have dodgeball, like, every Friday for, like, the point of like if any coworkers like have it, they can just hash it out, just play dodgeball.
Yeah, maybe they need to introduce some more more physical stuff in school, but like not harming, like dodgeball with the school ball. You're not gonna. We got a lot of wall ball. Did you play a lot of wall ball?
We played a lot of wall. It was kind of annoying though because like most of the dudes would like hog the wall ball and just kind of be like dicks about it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Elementary school kids can be dicks. I don't care.
I remember a few kids ruined it for them because they like tripped and fell and hit their head against the brick wall. Oh, now we can't play with it.
I remember tetherball.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was so good at tetherball. Me and my friend Carrie. My friend Carrie was like 6 feet tall.
Oh,
she was really tall. Both her parents were like super tall. They're like over 6 foot. So she ended up being like 6 feet tall, over 6 feet tall. And same thing, just like whapping that thing, and like it was, you get that right tilt to nobody can hit it on that one side.
And playgrounds back in the day were like a death trap. I literally remember the transition from like our elementary school playground to like the new plastic ones, because before it was wooden.
Yes.
And metal. Yeah. Like we had this awesome playground in a church that we called the ship playground because it was huge, and they built it like a pirate ship. Yeah. But like everything was wood. Huh. And then the slides were those big ass metal slides that like, I don't know why I guess I understand like why metal would, because you slide. Yeah. But like heat and metal don't go. Yeah. And it's like you just crawl under and over a bunch of stuff. And then I feel like tire swings were a big thing.
Oh yeah. We had tire swings. Yeah. I remember rocks too, were like the filler rocks where playground like fillers now instead of like wood chips or like the turf that they use now. Yeah. That was like actual rocks, but like that was dangerous because then kids would like throw rocks at each other and then one of them get like pegged in the eye.
Or monkey bars, I don't even think are a thing anymore because everybody broke their arms on.
Oh, I know, right?
I remember being able to skip.
Yeah. One. That's one thing. I was actually listening to a radio show today and they were like, do you see kids with broken arms anymore?
No.
Because
we don't allow them to do that.
Yeah, to do anything or like be kids. It's always like hover helicopter bomb over them. And it's funny because like it's kind of a good thing that my kid doesn't have fear with his neurodivergent brain. Yeah. So like it's like he does a lot of stuff and like jumps. He like parkours all things. And I'm just like, you're gonna do it. You're gonna learn. Like this, just I can't stop you. Yeah, I want to, but like I'm like, if you're gonna do it, you do it. But it's funny because when people visit, they're like, oh, yeah, and I'm like, he's fine. He's done this a billion times, and he's parkours off way harder things than this. Like, just let him be.
Yeah, and I feel like we definitely need to get back to that of like letting kids figure out their own shit and just like if they're uncomfortable. Like my kids are so much better and nicer when they've been playing outside.
Absolutely.
And like now that it's been nice, like they've been wanting to ride their bikes. And it's like, let's do it. And I'm nicer when I'm outside too. Yeah. You know, it's like people judge you for like having your kids don't wear their shoes, but like we never wore the shoes.
We're not supposed to. Yeah. That's the thing though, is that your feet are actually supposed to be free. One, for balance. Two, for development, because most shoes now are made too narrow, so our feet end up doing this. Yeah. And then that's how we end up with like bunions and calluses and all kinds of stuff, because we're supposed to be barefoot.
Yeah, not to mention like you're grounding and just like getting the bio stuff that you need.
Yeah, feet energy from the earth. Yeah, absolutely. My husband's friend John's wife, Kristen, is same thing. Like my hippy dippy mom, love her to death, and same thing. She's barefoot all the time. Yeah, because grounding, and she's just I'm a barefoot gal. And that, like she was pregnant at my house the one time a couple years ago. They came to visit, and she's the same thing. Just and it's kind of cold, and it was like she was like I'm barefoot all the time. Doesn't matter. Just is what it is. You know?
My daughter's like that too. Like she was barefoot a lot, and she stubbed her toe so many times this weekend, and I was like, that is something I did all the time because I was barefoot. And I remember standing and having contests in the summer who could stand on the asphalt the longest without burning your feet. And it's like, why did you do that? That stupid stuff is like, okay, like you're just kids are gonna figure it out in that sort of way. And I feel like that's, like I said earlier, that innocence is kind of yanked out because of the helicopter parenting. Yeah. And so I guess I feel like I did have a different version of helicopter parenting. Like yours were working. I had a stay-at-home mom, and my dad eventually worked from home, so they were always there. Mm-hmm. But like he worked in the basement, so it was like go outside, and we would come in and be like able to watch a little bit of TV. But what was your favorite cartoon?
Oh gosh, honestly.
I guess let's put it in age range because that's
I know there's a good range,
like 10 and under.
So when I was like little, probably like 4 or 5, VHS, this big thing. So I had the cartoon movie Thumbelina. Okay, was one of my favorite.
Just a terrifying topic now because like they abducted her.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, this is child abduction. Yeah. And then we loved Gargoyles. Okay. The movie Gargoyles. I don't know. It's a cartoon. Oh my God. Like, watched it over and over and over and repeat. Like, rewind, repeat. Yeah. Rewind, repeat. And then growing up, obviously Looney Tunes was still a big thing. We'd love to watch Looney Tunes. Taz was one of my favorites as like a toddler. I had like a Tasmanian t-shirt. Like,
and you had the high tops.
Yeah, of course it is. I'm like, I love that. And then, of course, like Space Jam, things like that. Yeah. And then, of course, when Nickelodeon came on, oh, man. Hey, Arnold and...
Rugrats.
Yeah, Rugrats. Oh, I still love Rugrats.
Such a funny concept now that you're a parent. You're like, lives of... I guess it would be like a modern-day Bluey. Kids are telling the narrative from their view type thing. Hey Arnold was a shit.
Hey Arnold was a shit.
Episodes are like 9 minutes long
I know. It's amazing, but you're like, because there were so many commercials in it, and it felt like it was literally a 30, 45 minute like ordeal.
Yeah.
But I still love that one. Me and my husband were just literally quoting each other. I was like, you football head. Like,
I love Helga. And her mom is clearly a drug addict.
or an alcohol.
Yeah, I feel like, oh, she's so sleepy. Now
Yeah.
you're like, oh, damn.
Oh, damn. Let's see what she was doing.
Yeah, we always do the part when her mom's like, Helga, did you forget to take your constipation medication? It's like one of those niche things. It's like only people that grew up watching that show would understand that. Was it Geraldine was his best friend?
Yes, Geraldine.
He had the best room. I think
it was like skylight, like lights on the top of this building. Like, how did he get this room? So cool.
I feel like that was a big thing because in the 90s, it was like we were all like bedroom kids, as they call it. Instead of like today, it's living room kids because they play everywhere.
They're always everywhere. Yeah.
And so I feel like every show had like an awesome bedroom setup.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, wow, none of us actually have that cool of a bedroom. Like I always wanted an attic bedroom.
Yeah.
I feel like that was so cool.
Yeah. I definitely had a really cool bedroom in the house that my parents blew up and made into $1 million house in Greenwood Village. And it was a cool room then because like my mom had made every single bedroom have their own space. It had a French door opening.
Oh wow.
And then it all had every single one of the rooms also had a walk-in closet with custom built-ins. So like, because my mom was always like, I'm an interior designer and also like staging homes and stuff like that. So of course my house must be the appearance of clean.
Yeah.
So if you can throw your shit in the closet, I don't have to see it. I don't care. As long as it looks clean.
Put all of your beanies.
Literally, like it didn't even matter. But like they made the custom built-ins so nice that there was like drawers and hangers everywhere. You could just throw everything in there. Yeah. And there was nothing in the rooms like to like make a mess, you know?
Yeah.
It was crazy. I think too, like, favorite shows then like going into like middle school was like Lizzie McGuire from Disney. Oh yeah.
I still love Hillary Duff now.
Yeah, I know.
I wanted to be Lizzie. You know there was only one season of that show.
It doesn't make sense because I feel like it was so much longer.
No, it had to be 5.
Yeah.
She's like, no, it was one season.
It was still delicious. I don't care.
I saw that movie in theaters with my mom. It's so good. I wanted to be her so bad.
I know.
Everybody did.
Hillary Duff, we love you so much, and even now you look great. You're amazing. 5 kids later, still look awesome.
I know.
You're so awesome.
I still didn't go crazy. She made it out.
The 2000s. What was that like for you?
I feel like I was really cool in the 2000s.
Okay,
early 2000s.
Do tell.
I mean, elementary school. I feel like there were some like popular kids or whatever, but your classrooms were small enough, and like you were still in a small group of people that you've been together. Like you hadn't gotten multiple neighborhoods together. So a lot of people knew me, and you knew a lot of people because there wasn't that many.
Right.
You know, and no one hit puberty yet.
Yeah.
So like, if I was small and little, so was everybody else.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. And then middle school hit, and that quickly changed because people hit puberty before I did, and then you just got more people coming in, and I grew up in a very like conservative house, so it was like people that I was friends with that were now the popular kids in middle school, like we didn't hang out on the same level. But yeah, early 2000s. I mean, 9/11.
Yeah,
happened.
That was a crazy day.
I was in 5th grade. Were you in 4th?
I was in, I think, 4th grade. Or no, 5th grade, because I skipped a grade.
Okay.
So, but it was still crazy because, like, I remember, like, going to school that day, and, like, we didn't know about it until we, like, literally got to school. And then it was just, like, it was a weird day. Like, the whole day just felt like it was really long.
Yeah.
Some people literally came and picked up their kids, like, and left. And just, like, so other people were losing it. Some teachers were crying. Like, it was
did they put it on the TVs for you guys?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think my classroom did, but some other, because I was, 5th grade, they put it on. I remember coming home and just, like, being glued to the TV. And kind of knowing what to understand. Like, you can't really, like, fully grasp when you're 10, 11 years old. But then after everything else, it was like, God Bless America song was on
all the time. Yeah. My brother, actually, because of 9/11, that is the day he figured out that he wanted to be in the military.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally because of 9/11.
Wow. I bet that was
a lot. Yeah.
How old was he then?
My brother's 3 years older than me, so 7th
You're still pretty young.
grade or so. Yeah, but he wanted to be in the military. He knew he wanted to be in the military because of so.
Yeah, I feel like patriot. What am I saying?
Patriotic.
Patriotic. That's not right. America was such like a big theme for the last for the next couple years. I remember our 5th grade graduation thing was like singing all the states songs. You learned a lot about the states and that sort of stuff, which is interesting where we're at now.
Yes, yeah, I know. Right? Do I want to be associated with somebody's state?
What about you in the 2000s?
So 2000s, honestly, like I feel like those times flew by. I wasn't a popular kid in middle school, and I didn't really care because I was very like focused on my sports and like school, work. I played a lot of soccer at that time, so it was just like whatever. Yeah. I did have a lot of like crazy friends. I had some friends, but it wasn't like I'm a popular kid. I'm having all these people are my friends. And then I remember like high school from the 2000s. Like I remember a lot of high school. Like a lot of that. Definitely high school was not my favorite years for sure. Because girls can be catty, boys were awful.
Looking back, you're like, it's so stupid.
It is. It's so dumb. Like high school, like girls, like if you're listening, high school is just a blip of your time, and I promise you, it's over before you know it. And
a lot of the people that you think are super cool, still hang out with the same people that you thought were super cool.
Yeah, and they end up either being losers or rejects or just it's not worth it. Like don't idolize them.
It's
like be yourself,
because like the people that were popular in high school, like kind of like you, I was like a sports kid.
Yeah,
so like I was on a club swim team, so like I wasn't on the high school team, so it was like a bunch of people from different high schools around. I mean, really, that was my entire life, like
absolutely
all the time. So you hung out with those people, and I wasn't a partier because I wasn't allowed, so I wasn't into that scene sort of stuff. But it's just interesting, like I feel like I talk to more quote unquote popular people now, later in life, being like, hey, we went to high school together, but we didn't talk to each other. We knew who each other were.
Yeah.
But like we didn't run in the same circles. Like, how are you? You know, we're all on the same even playing field now. It's like, oh, interesting. Like you knew who I was.
Yeah. High school was awful for me because like I was a sports kid in the middle school, but then I ended up like having those cyst ruptures, so I couldn't play soccer. And I had to like quit my career, which like devastated me. And then when you're coming from like quitting sports, your hormones are raging because you're like going into womanhood, and then all of a sudden you do a lot of stupid things. So like hanging out with wrong people, going to parties, like hang out with the wrong crowd, hang out with the wrong boys, and then you get labeled because like you hang out with the wrong boys. And it's like I dated one guy, it's ridiculous, and then it just like ends up it's just
that reputation.
It snowballs. And the worst part is like, so I ended up moving in the middle of my high school. I was my junior year. I ended up moving back to Texas again. The 08 crash. It was awful. It was junior, brand new school with all these kids that knew each other in a very rich like white area, and it was frustrating because I was not a rich kid. Was not a rich kid. So that was like rejection number 1. Rejection number 2, I didn't have a very fancy car. Where me and my husband went to school, again, we didn't graduate the same time. He was a couple years before me, but in this area, everybody who grew up in the area knows Plano West was a rich kid school. So it was like these kids had Mercedes, BMWs, Jaguars. Like one kid crashed his Mercedes or BMW in the parking lot. And literally his mom and dad got him like a new one the next day.
That's
like
insane.
No joke. It was just awful. And I'm like driving my like mom's Kia's Sorento. And I'm like,
I was driving a 1996 Civic. That was sick.
So you know what I'm saying? It's just like I'm not the rich kid.
Yeah.
So that was rejection number 2. And then I dated like one jock, and I got labeled like
Jersey chaser.
Oh yeah, you're the whore of the high school. Brand new chick, whore of the school, blah, blah, blah. So my high school career was awful. Like,
how many kids were in your high school? Was it big?
I don't even know, honestly, because then I ended up transferring to a charter school, so I graduated on time. Because I went to high school here, and they were telling me in Texas, well, my credits don't count because they're not Texas classes, like Texas history and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, are you serious? So like I had to take multiple classes that I've already taken over again. And then
college.
Yeah. And then they were trying to make me like almost like stay another semester, and I was like, Dad, that's not fair. I was like, I have good grades and I'm a good student, like I should be able to graduate on time. So I ended up just transferring to a chartering school so I could like finish it out, and I graduated like half a semester early. Just like get out of high school. I was like, I hate high school anyway. I just want it to be over.
Yeah. So it's like me in college. Let me be an adult now.
Yeah.
I don't want to be.
What do you remember the most about like the 2000s? How was your like graduation class? Like how was it like? What year did you? 07, 09?
09.
09. 09, 05?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then first year my husband was like 007.
Oh, yeah, my sister was 007. I was like, well, that was an easy one. Because I did the t-shirts for.
Oh, I know. I remember, I didn't know people did those t-shirts until I went to junior year in that school. And then I remember a lot of kids got like kicked out of school that day because they made inappropriate t-shirts.
No, I guess they still ran on the back of the car or whatever. But like, I didn't, like I said, I was a sports kid and also like an art kid at the same time.
Yeah.
So I kind of fit in with a bunch of different people.
Yeah.
But yeah, when graduation, I was literally, when you were talking, I was thinking like, oh, graduation parties, those were so fun. And like, you never went to one?
No.
Oh, it was so big where I was. It's like, who are you having it with? It was like a blowout barbecue wherever you went.
Yeah.
And you had to make sure that you made it to everybody's, because everybody was having it at the same time. Yeah. And then our neighborhoods would like put up a big flyer, banner, whatever, like so and so is going to this school.
Okay.
So they still do that now, back in where I am too. But yeah, graduation, I think I went to prom my senior year, which was a total bust for me because it was like
prom sucks.
I met my senior year boyfriend after prom. So like my best friend at the time, no one had asked me. She was going with her boyfriend. She wanted me to come, and she's like, oh, well, I think he was like a sophomore at the time. Super sweet kid. He like paid for, my dinner or whatever, but like I barely knew him. Like, and then she had drama with her boyfriend at prom, so like we had to leave early. I didn't even dance at prom. And so we went to the after party. I didn't participate in much like high school stuff. I did a little bit more my junior, senior year, but like freshman and sophomore year, I didn't go to homecoming. Yeah. Also, like, didn't get asked to homecoming dances. Like, so I didn't go, and like I didn't have like the same group of friends, so it was kind of hard to like go with like the same group every time. And I just like, also I just didn't care. Yeah. And I think towards the end of high school, it's like I probably should go to like a few football games and like participate and like have those like core high school memories. Looking back, I wish I would have participated a little bit more just to like have those memories.
Absolutely.
It wasn't like I was hating life. It was just like I also wasn't allowed to do a lot of these things. Yeah. So it's like, but okay, we go to the game, but like come right back.
Yeah, but honestly, it's probably a good thing that your parents were like that because like, like I said, I got in so much trouble. I did stuff that I shouldn't have been doing, and I like
sound like my best friend in high school because when you were like dating the wrong guys and like sneaking out, like that's
stupid decisions. Honestly, again, all of my fault. I just like I think I was just looking for love in all the wrong places like that. Like I was just
hormones going. Yeah.
But like I remember the football games. I loved the football games at Dallas, Douglas County. There in Castle Rock, loved the football games there. We had a bad A team. It was always so fun. It was always so fun. I went to one homecoming with an awful date. He was such a douche. Like I found out from one of his like guy friends that he was only dating me to like take my virginity and then like dump me. And thank God, like he did. Like nothing happened. Yeah, it was just like go fuck yourself. Like
high school boys are douchebags.
And the best part was like he was such a douche. Like I don't even know why I liked him. His name was Blake. Okay. He was like a super blonde from Florida. Like had like kind of shoulder-ish length hair. It was like bleach blonde.
Okay.
Like, I think he kind of dyed it. And then he would fake tan and
Is he
like
gay
whiten his
now?
teeth. I don't know, probably. I don't stalk these people anymore, so I have no idea. And
I feel like that's like major, like you're taking a lot of care of yourself.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't stalk these people because I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, I have no idea. They probably could be a deadbeat or bald at this point.
No, it's so funny. I ran into someone from high school that kind of ran with a more popular group, and back a couple months ago in January.
Yeah.
And it was just so funny because, like, I was like, wow, it's years ago from high school. Like, can't judge, but also just like, you look a lot older.
Yeah, than you should.
I don't feel bad saying that, but like, okay, you know.
Yeah,
like,
some people just don't age well.
No,
it's okay. It's okay.
And I didn't quote unquote bloom or blossom or whatever until after high school. Like, I was up against everybody that was like peaking in high school, and I was just like, you know, I had got my boobs, you know, like that sort of stuff, but like, you know, I looked a lot younger than I was.
Yeah.
And so, like, I feel like I just didn't fit in that way because I'm like, oh, they won't like me because I'm not mature looking.
Yeah.
And, like, looking back at photos, it's like everybody looked like a little baby.
Everybody did. Yeah. And then, like, again, I hung out with the wrong crowd. And so, of course, we were, like, wearing way too much makeup and, like, going to parties and looking stupid. Like, why did we think these makeup choices were a good choice? They're just not a good choice. Like, remember the matte mousse?
Yeah, I had that.
Like, foundation?
What I went to college,
2 shades darker. Nope.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, I wasn't allowed to wear, like, each year I could gain next thing.
Yeah,
I remember that. Like, foundation, and then, like, it was so dumb. But I can understand why, but I don't know if, like, it was a thing where you were to, like, you just drove around with your friends a lot of times.
Yeah,
that was
absolutely
the thing to do, and especially, I think they might still do it now, but like find a parking lot, usually a gas station, and just like hang out.
Yeah, we used to do the same thing, and a lot of the times we would just like end up skipping homecoming and like either going to a party or like going to like a fast food joint and like grabbing food or I remember too, like in Texas we would go to a haunted house instead like of going to homecoming because it's more fun. I would spend my money there than go spend it at homecoming. So then we would like get dressed up and then we would just like not go and go to a haunted house instead. It's like, waste our money, might as well go and do it for fun stuff. And then we'd always go to like Burger or something like that afterwards.
I was with Steak and Shake. Did they have that in Texas?
They do now, but I don't remember back then. Me, it was always about Burger because like we can't have it here.
Yeah, we don't have it in. I think they just got it in Georgia.
Yeah, and they have one in Colorado, but it's in Colorado Springs. So I'm like, no, we're not going to drive all the way down there.
Because we just got it in.
Yeah,
it was Steak and Shake where we were. It was a big thing.
Yeah. What do you remember about Y2K?
Y2K. Yeah, I remember it being a big thing. Like I said earlier, like we spent it outside because I think we were like expecting like the sky to explode.
The lights to go on. And so,
I think we were waiting for all the lights to go. I forgot about that, where everything would shut down.
And nothing happens.
Yeah, nothing happens. And that was like we were still kind of young to like deal with computers for Y2K. So like that. I didn't get into like computer stuff because we had back then it was like dial up.
Yeah.
So you had to be off the phone line in order to do that. Yes. And like my dad would have the one computer that would have internet and that was downstairs, so you had to wait till he was done working. Yeah. So like off the phone. And do you remember your screen name?
My email.
What? The email.
It was bad.
I didn't even think you had to have an email back then.
Email for like AOL, like what's that? It was like Twisted Chick, like 13. And it was like this weird way of spelling twisted. It wasn't like, it was like twisted with like a 3 or something. It was bad. It's bad. Bad. Let those emails go, guys. Let them go.
Mine was, I think I had changed throughout the years maybe, but I think the last one was, so my nickname on the swim team was D-Dime. Because my older sister, her nickname was K-Money. Okay. She was tall. Yes, I didn't grow to where I am until I was at least like 20. I'm not kidding. I grew an inch when I was 22. So I was a little short, round nugget for a while. And I grew up with tall, skinny sisters. So like her name was K Money. So I was the 10th of the size of her. So my name was D-Dime.
D-Dime? That's kind of cute.
Yeah, looking back, I'm like, okay, it is cute. Oh, I think that was mine for a little bit, and then eventually my nickname became Din Din for some reason.
Din Din.
So I had a lot of nicknames. No one ever just called me Devin back in the day. It was like Dev, D, Din Din, whatever.
You sound like when somebody was like, "We're gonna go get Din Din."
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that.
I totally forgot that people call me fucking Din Din. Like, where did that even come from? I don't know. I think someone made a shirt with it on it one time too, because that was like back when you just made shirts for fucking everything too.
Yeah.
I feel like I still do that now. But
I like it though. Like I never got to like do those things. So I'm like, oh, it's cool. I'll make a shirt.
Yeah.
Cool. I know it's lame, but I think it's so cool.
I'll make you a shirt. You twist it on it.
Twisted shit. I don't even know what this stemmed from. I think it was some like, oh my god, like some band or whatever. And I was like, kind of like trying to be like alternative at the time. It didn't last that long. I was just like, Lord.
Did you like? Were you on AIM a lot? Like, were you one of the chicks that like was always on?
I was on, but then like those chat rooms, like I would get in, and then like I said, like then I would get like weirded out. Somebody would send me a message and say like some weirded things, and I was just like you get the inkling, and you're just like, delete.
I never really joined those because I was too afraid.
Yeah.
Or like it was a battle for the computer between all the sisters to like be on it now. But I remember the feeling of like hearing the door open and you like see on the list of like, is it your crush or whatever?
Yeah.
Talking for hours on it, just like sharing all of your deep secrets. I feel like people. I guess you have text messages now, but it just felt so much more intimate because you knew that was the only
time that they were on.
Yeah. And like you didn't have well, I guess you had cell phones in high school, but it wasn't the same because you got charged for like your word count.
Oh,
you weren't connected.
Oh my god, my first cell phone was the one from AT&T. It was a flip phone, and your parents had to put like so many minutes and text messages on it, and then it was like my parents were like, well, if you use it up, that's it for the month, and you're like,
or you hit the internet button, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's gonna cost me $7.
Oh, what was your favorite cell phone in high school? Like, you remember like all the different ones that like came out? Like, which one was your favorite?
I didn't get really cool ones. I didn't get a cell phone until I was 16, maybe.
Same.
Because we were supposed to only have it when we were driving. Right. And when we got home, we were supposed to turn it off. So I think my first one was just like a white Nokia flip phone. Okay. Or a little Samsung one like this. It didn't have. I remember my sister, because she's 4 years older than me, so she was like the first person to get a cell phone. And she unpacked that like silver flip phone with the camera, like singular wireless or whatever everybody had. But my parents all had those Nokia ones that you play Snake on. Yeah, and like the covers that you can replace was basically just like a clear shell.
Yeah. I remember those.
They were brick. Yeah, the ringtones. No, I never had like a razor or anything like that.
I did.
So
my dad,
my friends,
my dad was so cool because like he was a Verizon. Like we had, but also too because Verizon traps you in those contracts that you can never get out of.
We had T-Mobile. We were ghetto back then. Now it's fine.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I mean everything was great. I'm like, I'm ghetto now. I'm gonna forget.
It's owned by somebody.
I know it's owned by AT&T, but I'm like, it's $99 a month for 2 lines. I'm gonna take it. Yeah, it's cheap. Yeah. It's cheap. But yeah, like my dad was a Verizon guy, so like all these phones, and then like one year I think I had like a free upgrade or something, and there was like a razor on there. I was like, Dad, I want the razor. I want the razor. And he was like, okay, like cool.
The keyboard was like so flat.
It was so flat, and you could just slam it shut when you're pissed.
Yeah, that was the best, that you could like stop a text message before you sent it, because if you closed it fast enough, it would cancel.
It would cancel.
But then like to like tell someone a story of like your conversation, I'd be like, let me go to my send, let me go to my inbox, let me go to my
yeah.
It's like wasn't a thread.
Or the worst is remember when you had to press the button multiple times to get the what do you call it, like the next letter?
Yes, T9.
Yeah, T9. But I was like, click.
I know, and then you surpass it, and then you have to
go around.
Yeah, no, we were talking about that the other day, like how hard it is to like text and drive, because you shouldn't do, but I realize it. But like back in the day, you could memorize like all that sort of stuff, like the pattern. Yeah. No, I had a slide phone for a little bit. That's cool, but I was with the chocolate.
I had a chocolate.
Goddamn.
I had chocolate. One Christmas, my parents got us chocolate phones. But again, this is like when I was 16 and older. Chocolate phones,
What was your price iPod?
I didn't get an iPod. I shuffle.
Oh, yeah.
My
No,
parents were
I
like,
actually, I think I have like the 4th generation, the big white one.
Yeah,
Whatever.
my husband
They were like
was, yeah.
really expensive.
He still has
big
it.
Christmas.
He still has it. It's in the box over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can still feel my thumb like going around the circle and that like the haptic feedback or whatever. Yeah, I remember that was a big thing because I like the swim meets too, and like all the different iPods that came out, like the colored ones, the shuffle or the nano ones or whatever. I had them up until college. I think I still have the nano one from like an ex-boyfriend or something. It's like engraved in the back. I should plug this in to see if it works. See what it is.
Yeah, Omar still uses one of his old iPods to actually play. So like, I bought him a what do you call it? A helmet for snowboarding, and it has headphones in it.
Oh.
So you can literally hardwire.
Oh, nice.
This was before we came out with these really cool like AirPods and stuff that we have.
Yeah.
So, he literally still has an old iPod that works and it charges.
That's awesome.
And he just
yeah, because car stereos.
Yeah.
Upgrading. Did you upgrade yours?
Oh man, no, I did not. I did not. No, my car still had like the CD disc player.
Yeah.
And you had your little like thing, like what do you call it, book for your CDs.
We had the ones on the
the little
the
sun visor.
Sun visor.
Yeah.
And it would get stretched out and it'd go flying out.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Omar had like the book.
Oh yeah, the big
of CDs because he used to burn CDs. That's what we like DJ Omar over here.
We're burning CDs, yeah.
LimeWire.
Oh yeah.
We need to burn CDs and get in trouble.
What was the one that was before that? Napster.
Napster.
Yeah, I think I used LimeWire, but I remember my sister used Napster.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we originally had like because we all three had the same car, we passed it down. Had like a 10-disc CD thing that was in the trunk.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, my dad had one of those in one of his cars. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then the one that like everybody's talking about is like the. I think it was like Panasonic that you could like change the colors and you can remove faceplate because people were getting their shit stolen essentially.
Yeah. I also remember when people had the iPods and things like that, and of course our stereos are still old. I couldn't do it. That you put the disc tape,
the tape with
the cords, and connect your iPod. I was like, oh my
God, I forgot about that. Yeah, we used to do before mixed CDs. It was the mixtapes that you could record from the radio.
Oh yeah,
and you had to like run to it. Yeah, I would love to. I don't even know if I have my mixed CDs. I would love to go back and see what. I was listening to.
Oh yeah, sometimes you throw them in there and you're like, dang, this is a banger. It's so good. Hot mix. It's a hot mix. I know, like I told Omar CDs, it'll be like DJ O's like bad mix or something like that. It's bad. It's like the
like Lil Wayne.
And then it was like, Lil Wayne, or like T-Pain.
Yeah. So you and I think got totally different music tastes.
Yes.
What was yours in high school?
Hip hop and rap.
Okay.
Oh yeah, all day, every day.
Did you have like a favorite?
Honestly, I just love my 2000s mix. I love like Young Jock, and I love T-Pain, and like Ludacris. Like, oh my god, all day long. Like, I'll still listen to it, and I'm like, get it. Like, this me in the gym. I'm like, like in high school.
I say it's really good for you to like listen to music that you listen to when you're in high school.
Oh yeah,
because you kind of don't ever break out of that.
Oh yeah.
No, I had some of that too, but like I was definitely more emo alternative kid.
Absolutely. What was your favorite?
I mean, I remember Fall Out Boy came out with their 16 Candles.
My sister.
That was like one of my first ones on my iPad, and I definitely left a few mysterious away messages with that before no sense. It's like no one knows what the fuck you're talking about.
No, none.
But it sounds intriguing.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think I had a few mixtures of stuff, and I. Looking back, like, I feel like I was embarrassed of my music choices because everybody was listening to, like, the cool rap, and I didn't want to be made fun of for, like, listening to more alternative
I think,
stuff.
too, it's who you hung out with.
Yeah.
Because, like, like, you have the alternative and emo kids, like, in high school, and that's all they listen to, and then you have, like, the cool popular kids, and they listen to, like, hip-hop and rap, and like, cool thugs, like, whatever, and then you have, like, the really alternative kids that listen to, like, something completely different. You're like, nobody like hangs out with them.
It wasn't that good. I was pretty mainstream emo, that sort of stuff. But I remember my friend Sarah, she always found like really good music, and she drove us around a lot more in her car, and she always had like Akon was always a big thing, and like that sort of stuff. And I was like, oh, like how do you find all this cool music, but that I'm still listening to like I don't know. I don't know why I was embarrassed of it, but I shouldn't have been.
Shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
I think I remember the most nostalgic like memory I think I have was I had one best friend in high school here in Douglas County that was like really, really my best friend. Her name is Jules. And she lives in Las Vegas now with her husband and stuff like that. Like I still follow her on Facebook and stuff. But me and her would ride around in her Dodge Neon that she bought for $500. No joke. Saved up all her money for her little job and literally bought a car for $500. Her dad was nice enough to buy her tires for her car because it was it's a nice bucket, but it was a $500. And she could afford it. She was like, I bought it, and we got it. And we again were in like hanging out and should have been going places, we should have been going to Denver, whatever. And we're supposed to go to like a party or something later. And we were riding down the highway. It was a summer day, beautiful day, had the windows down, and Sean Kingston had just come out with that song, You're Way Too Beautiful Girl. Oh my God. Like just like singing it, like blasting it on the radio, getting McDonald's, going to the parties, like having a great time. I think it was one of the best memories I had. Like just riding around with my best friend listening to Sean Kingston.
Yeah, that was me and my friend Brittany, who was you because we would sneak out of her house and she was like the cool kid. Listening to Eminem and like her white Jeep.
Yeah.
Just like she was scary ass driver.
I remember
you would whip around corners, I'd be like, I'm gonna die.
Love you, Renee.
And just like listening to Eminem and she would just be blaring this shit. And I'm like, I'm out of the house.
Get my review. Literally. Oh man. All right. Well, I think we gotta wrap it up because baby's gonna wake like any second now.
We should do the next another episode of we're out of high school, college.
All right, I'm down.
Next have to be a multi-step thing.
Yes.
A lot of shit happens in college.
Yes.
But, keeping it to the fun stuff of just. I feel like that's coming around a lot too with all of the stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So definitely let's do that. We'll tune in next time, guys, for our next episode. We'll talk about college life and where we're kind of like going at with that now. So definitely stay tuned in for that. If you guys will please follow us, subscribe, like, click, share, all of the good stuff with your friends and family. We'd really, really appreciate it. Leave comments.
Yeah, interact with us. Give us feedback. Give us your stories too.
Absolutely. We'd love to share your stories. All right. Well, we're good for the night. Yeah. So, all right, guys. So we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.